All right. Welcome back to the channel, my beautiful bunch of aspiring money makers, or should I say money savers, because today we are going to talk about something super juicy, something that probably 99.9% of those stiff financial advisors out there won't even whisper about. We're going to talk about what I, your favorite 20-something financial rebel, would do with a grand $1,000 if I were starting from absolute zero, if I were back in my early 20s, hungry for knowledge, hungry for success, and honestly, just a little bit clueless, like most of us were, or still are. No judgment. And let me tell you, there will be no BS, no fancy jargon, just pure, unadulterated, brutally honest advice. Now, before we even get to what I would do, let's quickly, and I mean quickly, touch on what I absolutely positively would not do. Okay, because I just dropped, like $1,000. Actually, probably closer to $1,200 into my car a couple of days ago. Yeah, an ignition coil misfiring. A whole bunch of other little gremlins decided to have a party under the hood, and boom, there goes a grand. Just like that. And, honestly for me, at this point in my life, I'm pretty numb to it. It is just another Tuesday, another $1,000 out the door. I've made peace with the fact that owning a car like this means shelling out a couple of grand every single year just for maintenance, just to keep it running smoothly, and, honestly, I can afford it. No questions asked. It doesn't even make me blink an eye. But here's the kicker, here's the real talk. When I first bought this car, way back in 2018, I was nowhere near this financial position. Nowhere near. I had maybe a couple of grand to my name, total, and trying to service or upkeep a car like this back then, it would have absolutely decimated my finances. It would have been a financial suicide mission, and I see it all the time. People, so many people, they go absolutely bonkers with their expenditures, buying things they have no business buying, things way, way above their means. And let me be crystal clear here. If you have less than $50,000 to your name, and I mean liquid, readily available cash, you should not, I repeat, should not, even be thinking about buying anything German, anything expensive, anything luxurious. You need to pump the brakes on that immediately. Now, I know some of you might want to battle me on this. Some of you might be like, oh, but it is an investment. It is a status symbol. No, it is not. It is a hole in your pocket, and I am firm on this. I am not budging. I think it is one of the most monumentally stupid things you can do. Buying something that, if it broke down and cost you $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 to fix, it would genuinely affect you. It would genuinely cause you financial stress. For me, that feeling of not being affected by a $3,000 car repair, that only started to happen when I had like 50 to 100 grand or even more in liquid assets, just chilling, ready to go. So, that is point number one. Don't be an idiot with your money, especially when you don't have much of it. Point number two, and this is another massive one. Something that so many people get wrong, especially when they're starting out. You should not even be thinking about investing in the traditional sense. Not in real estate, not in stocks, not in crypto, none of that stuff. Not yet. If I had even up until, let's say 2020, 5 grand, anything below that amount, every single penny, every single dollar goes into you. And what does that mean? It means education, it means improvement, it means becoming a better version of yourself. I don't care if that means going to a traditional brick and mortar school. If it means devouring books like they're the last slice of pizza, if it means enrolling in online programs, paying for consulting, hiring a tutor, I don't care what it is. There are people ahead of you for a reason. They've already figured things out. They've already walked the path, and if you can cut your learning curve by taking this money, this precious $1,000, and investing it in yourself, in your knowledge, in your skills, instead of desperately searching for the next 10x return in some random stock dude. I cannot stress this enough. That is going to be an infinitely better return on your money. Infinitely, you're trying to find some asset-based thing to put your money into, when the greatest asset you possess is literally staring back at you in the mirror. It is you. I can't say it enough. I see so many guys, they just don't get it. Now, why is this an unpopular opinion? Why does everyone preach about stocks and crypto and all that jazz? Well, I think there are two main reasons. One, it is unsexy. Let's be real. Learning isn't as flashy as telling your buddies you just made a quick $500 on a meme stock. And two, it is way, way more difficult. It is way more challenging to look at yourself and say, hey, I need to become the asset. I need to become the SME 500. I know it sounds cheesy. Moz talks about it all the time, but it is the absolute truth, my friends. You are a vessel for a reason. You are someone who can learn new skills, who can absorb information, who can adapt, and now, with AI at our fingertips. Dude, it is a game changer. I'm literally feeding AI so much information, so many tasks, that it is cutting my learning curves on countless things. Virtually in half, it is insane. So you need to be doing the same damn thing. Every single evening, you should be dedicating time to learning learning how to leverage it, how to get ahead with it, how to use it to your advantage. I know I am. Right now, as we speak, this could be for competitor analysis. This could be for scripting out your next big idea. This could be for coming up with killer business outreach strategies. Cold outreach, by the way, is a massive thing that I teach in my mentorship program. It is all about how to get customers, how to land your first initial clients, because it is the cheapest way. It is the fastest way to start scaling. It is affordable, it is direct, and it gets you those paying clients. So I'm always going to say, it's not even just your first $1,000. It is your first 5, your first 10, your first $20,000, or even more should be going into yourself. I know, this video isn't going to get nearly as many views as some clickbait title about how to turn $100 into $1 million in a week, because it is boring, it is not typical, it is not what everyone else is saying. Everyone else is like, okay, you're going to put $250 into this index fund, and then $500 into Bitcoin here, and then a little bit into this other thing. No. Dude, no, you don't have anything that is not going to compound into anything meaningful. That might, just might, compound for your great-great-grandchildren, but $1,000 right now, it is not going to do squat. It is not going to move the needle. There is nothing meaningful about investing $1,000 into stocks right now. It is utterly pointless. It is not going to do anything now on a recurring basis. Once you've invested in yourself, once you've learned a skill, awesome. Now you're making $5,000 a month. You have $5,000 a month coming in. And for most of you, that is going to be through a job. It was for me, awesome. I'm making $5,000 a month at my job. Now I can invest $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month. That is a different story. But just lump summing, just throwing $1,000 into something and hoping it turns into a fortune. That is the day traders. Dude, it is always the dudes who say, oh, I'm going to flip this into 5K, and then I'm going to flip that 5K into 10K. No, you're not. No, you're not. I promise you. I hope you prove me wrong. I truly do. But I guarantee, gun to my head, you're not going to do that. So many traders lose. It is an absolute bloodbath out there. I don't know what it is about the gaming community. I've said this in my last 2, maybe 3 videos, but it's just such a toxic, cancerous place because it is absolutely riddled with day traders. Unfortunately, I don't know why. Maybe it is the correlation between video games and this whole day trading thing. Oh damn, that Benz has broken down right there. Classic anyway. Maybe it is that video game analogy. It is so glorified to sit behind a screen, click a couple of buttons, and magically make $1,000 on a trade. It is like, yeah, dude, you're not doing that. If these hedge fund guys aren't consistently doing it, you're definitely not doing it. Little Timmy, just go get a job, go work back at McDonald's. Brother, the cards are not in your favor, I promise you. You need to start a business. That is your absolute best bet. Or you need to go get a sales job. That is what I would always say. I think that is the best leverage you can possibly get. $1,000 invested in learning sales material, studying sales. I don't give a damn if you gotta get access to 1,000 sales call recordings, a whole bunch of other things. That is golden. That is nice. I think this is a 335 coming up beside me right here. Sweet. That is going to be your best bet. That is always going to be your best bet, your best play, your strongest move. So anyways. Oh, this guy's totally ripping into. That was funny. Sorry, fellas. I'm distracted. He's got a 335. I like this young kid too. Point is. That is how you do it. That is the secret sauce. This video isn't going to be super long for that very reason. It is just the truth, plain and simple, but boys. Trust me, take that grand, take that $1,000, and invest it into yourself. That is going to be the absolute best play. Nothing else is even going to come close to it. I promise you, that is going to be your best option. By far, no question. This guy is looking to, oh, he is too. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I haven't had an E90 behind me in a long time, and now we're stuck behind these. Ugh, I'll let the video roll just for some car stuff. They don't know how to drive. I gotta get far over to this right lane. Hopefully, you people are still sticking with me. I'm going to end the commentary here, let's just hypothetically say, and I gotta get over anyways. Man, actually, this is good. This is good. Right here, right here, right here. This is AI generated. None of this is real. This is all 100% legit. Some people, man, they sit in the fast lane at 100. Clicks an hour, it really doesn't make any sense. Speed limit is yes 100. But point is, some folks gonna fly by me in 3-2. Nice. Anyways, fellas, that is it. I'm getting off. We out. Take your money. Invest it into yourself. Learn things. Ask Claude where the hell to put your money. I don't care, but this is the best way to get rich. It is investing in yourself. You have full control. You're not in the hands of the market. You're not in the hands of somebody else. Please, I promise you. Learn these things, digest these things, obsess over increasing your own earning power in the next 1 to 2 years, and you will get filthy rich. I promise you, we'll see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed. Talk to you soon. Stay patient. Peace.